know, I don't want to get into Bob Costas' business, but the man does know contracts, and he does know baseball, and more importantly, Bob, baseball history. As you read the news, or if you heard about the news and the baseball history that you're very familiar with, what came to mind? How do you kind of put this in perspective for us, the news of Ohtani going to the Dodgers?
Well, if you just want to be glib about it and you're talking about someone's relative worth, during the Depression, Babe Ruth signed for $80 million, and somebody said, hey, that's more than the president makes. And the Babe's response was, yeah, but I had a better year than Hoover, which he certainly did. Look, Ohtani, not just historically, but at present, he's a unicorn. I know that word has been thrown around. He's a unicorn, and I can imagine every GM right now rehearsing his response to every other star player and their agents, saying, this is a high tide that does not raise any other boats. It's a unique circumstance because of the duality of his performances, the public fascination with that, and the wherewithal of the franchise that signed him. And it isn't just the monetary aspect. John Heyman put it well just a few moments ago. The whole history of the franchise, the bold-faced names that have been part of that. This is a unique circumstance. Now, good luck making that argument. But that argument is going to be, forget about not getting $70 million. The argument's going to be, this doesn't make a $30 million guy a 40. It doesn't even make a $10 million guy a 15. This stands completely alone. That's going to be the argument. Another thought that occurs to me, you know, Joel and John covered almost everything. I'm just adding a few little things here. This is no disrespect intended to the Toronto Blue Jays or their fans. They have a good history. They've won a couple of World Series. They've had contending teams and great players past and present. But baseball has to be sighing or emitting a sigh of relief right now, because had he gone to Toronto, his value, which you guys have been discussing, to the sport overall would have been greatly diminished, greatly diminished. Here, it's amplified because he signed with the Dodgers.
Hey, Bob, I want to ask you from a global sports perspective, and I'm not talking just baseball. You've covered every sport out there for a number of years. You've met every star player on the planet. Where does this guy land? Like, we're talking about Ali, we're talking about LeBron, we're talking about Jordan, we're talking about, I mean, this contract puts him above all them in that respect, but I'm looking internationally, his fame, everything else. Where can he go with this?
Potentially, if not already, bigger than any baseball player. With all due respect to all the other greats, these are unique circumstances. As big globally as Ali, nobody was. There was a time when you could make a good case that Muhammad Ali was the most famous person on the planet. And there was a time when that was probably also true of Jordan, because even as baseball expands its popularity globally, and that's been really true over the past generation, big plus for baseball, it is not the same thing globally yet as basketball. And while I'm not much of a soccer guy, so I don't have a deep grasp of this, I know that the biggest soccer stars, from Pele on to more recent soccer stars, football to the rest of the world, those people numerically probably have more fans than any baseball player can have. But Ohtani is somewhere on that list. And for baseball right now, he's very much at the top of that list.
And Bob, just piggybacking on what Harold was talking about, there is a mystique to Shohei Ohtani that in this day of we know everything about everyone is uniquely him, right? And that it's different than Ali and Jordan. So I think his mystique and what we know seemingly so little about him only adds to this, you know, to his aura, if you will.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It differentiates him from almost everybody else, as does his double-barreled stardom as both a pitcher and a hitter. Here's a secondary point, very much secondary. We don't have to worry about the Dodgers. They're a very well-heeled franchise, and as Joel said earlier, a good portion of the money is going to be deferred for luxury cap purposes and overall payroll perspective for the next few years to give them some kind of flexibility as they continue to improve their team, which is already pretty formidable when you think about Ohtani and 25 being added to their rotation, Walker Buehler and some of the other pitchers who were injured last year coming back. This is a very, very formidable team. But just as a side note, now that Ohtani will be their DH, they don't re-sign J.D. Martinez, so that large number comes off the books. And Kershaw probably only for one more year, and that number comes off the books. So that kind of mitigates it a little bit.
Hey, Bob, we'll get you out of here on this one. If I were to give you the Dodgers or the field to win the World Series in 2024, who are you taking?
I would take the field in the present circumstances and format against any team, including a combination of the 1927 Yankees and the Gas House Gang Cardinals and the 98 Yankees and the Mariners who won 116. And I would take the field against anybody because it is such a gauntlet to run. Just after the Braves and the Dodgers of the last two seasons when they couldn't even get past the division series either time. Give me the field.
You got it. The great Bob Costas, the Hall of Famer, joining us with his insight on Shohei Ohtani's decision to join the Dodgers. Bob, we appreciate the time. Enjoy your weekend, my man.
Thank you, guys. You too.
Thanks, Bob.